toutes ces fermetures inégalitaires dans ces romans-là ont des conséquences apocalyptiques. C'est-à-dire qu'on sait très bien que ce n'est pas viable. Pourquoi? Tout simplement, enfin ça c'est peut-être une question qu'on peut mettre en débat aussi, mais parce que l'humanité s'est construite finalement sur la migration. Sans la migration, par exemple, à l'époque préhistorique, jamais l'humanité ne se serait développée partout sur la planète, vous voyez. Et donc moi je me dis, ce que la science-fiction nous renvoie à l'autre bout finalement de la chaîne chronologique, c'est que si nous nous refermons, ça veut dire que nous nions quelque part ce qui a fondé notre humanité. Alors voilà, moi la question c'est pourquoi finalement toutes ces visions apocalyptiques n'ont aucun impact ou quasiment pas sur les réflexions concernant la réalité, Norman.
Well, that's a long, complicated question, but United States was a country built by immigrants, bandits, pirates, people were thrown out of Europe, and that's the United States. There's a thing about utopias. If you're trying to write a utopian novel, it's not going to work because it's going to be boring. There's not going to be any conflict, and you don't have a story.
C'est un récit statique.
Why? I mean, you have a big crisis here, a huge crisis with immigrants. These people aren't really immigrants, they're refugees. They're refugees from the Civil War, a terrible war, and they're here to save their lives, basically. Initially they are welcomed, and then it gets out of hand. There's too much of it. As I said, Wolfgang Geschke wrote a really good, I wish I could remember the name of the book, in English or in German. I don't know if it was ever published. It was his last book he wrote before he died. And he predicted the whole thing. At first, because it's a climate change book, and Northern Africa is just pouring into Europe, not because of the Civil War, but because of the ecological catastrophe. First they are welcomed, and then it just gets out of hand. Why science fiction hasn't come up with a solution to something that nobody else has come up with a solution to, I don't know. But I think it's a moral question. It's a moral question. And if you're writing science fiction, serious science fiction, basically you're dealing with moral questions and the concept of, what's one culture's benefit is another culture's disaster. But I wrote, the closest thing I wrote in a way to a utopia like this is Bleu comme Orange, Greenhouse Summer, where you have the chauffage, you have the climate change, you have Siberia, becomes Siberia the Golden, it's wonderful, they've got everything, it's warm, there's no more socialism, there's no more capitalism, it's a syndicalist, anarchist state, but like with important political part played by the descendants of Mafia and Tong. So it's by no means a utopia, but the people are better. There's a point in the book where it looks like the planet is going to be destroyed by the heat wave, which has benefited Siberia, which has benefited the gangster Tongs, and they have to make a decision about whether they give up what they've got, whether Siberia comes back to being an icebox, whether the Tongs lose a lot of money. These people, unlike what the reality is today, they're certainly not perfect people, but their attitude is, well, that's what we got to do. That's what we got to do. No question about it. We don't like this very much. We have to do it. And I think questions like what's going on now with refugees here, or whatever you want to call them, they are refugees, they're not immigrants. They're, for the most part, not economic. There's a difference between economic immigrants who are coming here because they can make more money, and people who are fleeing a war that's going to kill them if they don't get the hell out of there. So initially, say in Germany, they were welcomed, they were greeted, they were, helped, and now it's just overwhelming. It's too much. The Greeks, who was royally screwed by the European Union and Germany and Merkel, horrible shit. Nevertheless, they are doing they're doing what they can for the people to show up on their shore. So I think that the real question here is sort of trans-political that science fiction might be able to do something about. It's a moral, what's needed is not a scientific evolution, but a moral evolution. It's saying this is really tough stuff, but it's obvious. It's obvious what's got to be done. It's going to cost money, it's going to be a real problem, but we can't just let these people drop dead en masse on our territory. We can't do it. So I don't know why it falls to science fiction to solve this problem. Probably because nobody else has any idea.
La science-fiction n'a pas, la science-fiction n'a pas trouvé de solution. Elle dit simplement, quand on ferme comme ça des mondes, en fait, on va vers l'apocalypse. Et c'est ce que nous disent finalement les romans de science-fiction. Mais après, c'est vrai, il n'y a pas de solution forcément proposée.
Well, there's going to be a solution because something is going to happen. The war has to be stopped by military force. People have to be settled. In the old days, the way America was built, it would be very simple. They'd say, well, we got this big empty continent. Come here and start a farm. We give you the land, or we take it away from the Indians and give it to you. And that's how America grew. With people fleeing royalist dictatorships, criminals, stuff like that. Australia was the same thing. So it's possible, maybe, to find some place like that, where there's room for these people. It costs some money to get them there, it costs something to set it up, but to put them in a place where they are not destroying the very culture that is trying to save them.